Welcome, TEI family, to another episode of The Everyday Investor. Today we have a very special guest with us. This person owns 25 patents throughout a number of different countries. One of her products, the Snapit Screw, has sold over 5 million units to date, and the repair kit, which includes the Snapit Screw, has sold over 400,000 units to date. She has earned a number of awards for being an inventor as well as an entrepreneur. Please help me welcome Nancy Tedeschi. How's it going, Nancy?
How you doing?
I am doing pretty good. I was telling you offline that I am very excited for this interview just because your story is amazing. And again, I think the audience is going to get a lot of value from hearing you and just kind of how you started and where you are now today. I guess, but a question I like to ask all the guests is, what did you do before becoming an inventor, before having a patent? What was the past life? Did you work in corporate America? Were you an entrepreneur always? How did that look?
Well, I actually was a late bloomer. I barely got out of high school, and my father was a professor, and my whole life was grounded on education, and that's how they taught us. But I was bullied very badly when I was a child, and so I kind of withdrew from the world and barely got an education in high school. And then right after high school, I didn't go to college, and that was a no-no in my family. So back when I was about 24, I was thinking on my life and everything. I ended up saying, well, I'm going to give this college stuff a try. And I applied to a community college, and I didn't get in because my grades were so bad. Then I had to take remedial courses in order to get myself into the community college.
Wow.
And when I got into the community college after my remedial classes, I got a 4.0 average, was on the president's list, and then after I got my 2-year degree, I transferred over to Albany State University in upstate New York. And when I got out of school, I ended up working, which is really a wild story. I worked for NFL Films, and I worked at NBC on the 1988 Olympics, and for Road to Calgary, Road to Seoul, which was a program where we introduced all the athletes and went to their hometowns and did how when you watch the Olympics, they go to their hometown and do the story. Well, I was in charge of hiring all the camera people, all the sound people, and then I went to NFL Films and I worked there for a couple of years. And then I had a family and I didn't want to travel anymore. And I thought I was going to be a housewife. And that lasted about 2 months. I got home, and that raising a child was a million times harder than working outside the home. And I ended up, didn't know what to do because I didn't want to travel. So what I ended up doing was I went to work selling cars for a living. I sold Hondas. And this is a fast version. But anyway, I sold cars for a living and got to the pinnacle of that. I mean, I was making like $150,000 a year. I worked for a company that was family owned, so there's no place for me to go. And I wanted to go someplace else.
Right.
So I ended up waiting on a girl to sell her a car who was in the mortgage industry. And she ended up taking me under her wing and teaching me how to be a mortgage originator. Well, I did so well at that, I actually got recruited from a mortgage bank out of New York City to start a branch for them. And I ended up starting a mortgage branch for them, worked for them, did $300 million worth of mortgages my first year in business.
Wow.
Opened up a second branch, and then the market crashed, and they came in and let me go. And I was crushed. I thought my life was over, right? And I walked out of there and I said, I will never work for anybody ever again in my life but myself. And so what ended up happening, it was when you get a mortgage, you have to get title insurance.
Yep.
And so I would always use the same guy. And he was getting ready to retire. And I'm like, I went to him and said, I want to buy your business. And he goes, what do you mean you want to buy my business? You don't know one thing about title insurance. I go, I know, but you're going to teach me.
Right.
So I went to work for him for free. And he taught me the whole title industry and Then they sent me to New York to work with all the lawyers, and they taught me how to, read the title, to plot, to do all of that. And I bought his business.
Wow.
And I did that until I invented the screw. And when I invented the screw, I gave the business to my employees, and they still own it today.